Hello, thank you for the invitation. Thank you for your introduction. I'm Keiko and my co-researcher Akiko, and we are very grateful to you for your invitation, and we're having a good time. So here is our presentation with the title "Fox Possession in Medieval Japan: Reality of the Belief and Treatment of the Illness as a Shadow of Political Unrest." So let me begin. Today, we are here to delve into the delve into an interesting aspect of medieval Japan, spanning from the 12th to the 16th century. That's our medieval time, that shed light on the intricate relationship between animals and people, namely fox possession cases. In medieval Japan, people believed that foxes had the power to exert various effects on human body and spirit. One particularly remarkable phenomenon that rose from the belief was known as fox possession. This concept refers to a condition where a fox takes control of a human body, entwining with it and subsequently causing the individual to suffer from mental or physical illness. Now we explore this belief and phenomenon. It's possible to note some parallels and contrasts. While it shares some similarities with the European concept of lycanthropy, it diverges significantly in several key aspects. The notable distinction lies in the fact that in medieval Japan, the individuals affected by fox possession did not claim to be possessed themselves. Instead, it was the people surrounding them who became central to the narrative. This sets it apart from lycanthropy tales in Europe, where the afflicted individual typically plays a more prominent role in the narrative. In the 15th century, Japan was under the rule of the samurai class, with the shogun holding the highest authority in the country. It's worth noting that historical records from this era provide detailed accounts of cases involving fox possession illness among shoguns, their wives, and their sons. When these cases included symptoms of mental disorder, they were often attributed to influence of the fox spirit. While there may not be exhaustive evidence available, it's quite plausible that the spectrum of fox possession illness encompassed conditions such as depression, bipolar disorder, adjustment disorder, and even schizophrenia. Now, here is a question. How did they go about treating these cases of fox possession? Buddhist practitioners and Yin-Yang-Do masters and other magical art physicians treated fox possession illness by making the fox spirit to leave the body of patients. In esoteric Buddhist prayer practices called Kito, generally speaking, they set up a platform to enshrine the image of Buddha and light a holy fire, chant the mantra, make a sign in one's hand, and unite one's mind with the Buddha in order to achieve one's wish. This Buddhist prayer rite is performed either by a single priest or by a group of monks or priests. The picture shows two, but sometimes it's really a large number of priests pray this ritual. The role of Yin-Yang-Do masters, who was also very, very important. Yin-Yang-Do is a system rooted in Chinese philosophy that aimed to comprehend the universe and human body through the dualism of light and darkness present in all elements. This intricate practice took root in Japan during the 15th century, coexisting with practices like fortune telling and medical treatment. Yin-Yang-Do practitioners wielded significant influence within the prevailing ruling structure of the time. Their expertise in understanding the balance of cosmic forces and their applications in both diagnosis and treatment place them in a unique position. They were central to the effort of treating fox possession illnesses using their knowledge to eliminate the fox spirit from afflicted individuals. And this picture shows the performance of Yin-Yang-Do master. In this illustration, Yin-Yang-Do master right here, this in the black clothes, he gives an esoteric prayer ritual in front of the altar, trying to get, and this monk on the left in white, this monk is trying to get his teacher priest, his master teacher priest's illness. His teacher is ill, and he's trying to get this illness transferred to himself and to save his teacher priest. So the Yin-Yang master is performing a spell for this purpose. Around him, right here, all around, is funny creatures. These are embodiment of the disease and are called mononoke. Maybe some of you know that Mononoke Hime animation, and that's the same mononoke. And in Japanese legend, mononoke and yokai of a similar nature often appeared as visible manifestations of invisible misfortunes. So they are visible manifestations, fictional creatures of invisible misfortunes in reality. And mononoke and yokai are once rejected as non-scientific in the history of Japan, but now they are revived in fantasy culture very much in Japan, such as manga and anime. And the history of fox beliefs in Japan is a fascinating journey that dates back to ancient times. Foxes of different types have been inhabitants of the Japanese archipelago, presumably for 15,000 years, as evidenced by archaeological excavations. By the 7th and 8th centuries, these creatures had already carved a special place in human spiritual life. For good example to show this, the imperial court interpreted the appearance of foxes as a sign of good things to come. Moving into the 8th century and beyond, beliefs surrounding foxes underwent significant evolution. People began to perceive foxes as, number one, gods of agriculture. 2, shapeshifters capable of transforming into humans. 3, foxes are beings with the ability to bear exceptional human offsprings, children with special talents of good fortune. So they have intimate connections while taking on human forms. They shapeshift and have connection with either man or woman, and then get married and have special children. And number 4, the appearance of foxes could foretell both good and bad omens, making them a symbol of anticipation and warning. In addition, they were believed to possess individuals and have a control over them. This is our topic today. And these beliefs might have found their way into Japan from the Eurasian continent by the 8th century. So these are the points. As we journey to the late Heian period in the 11th century, we find that aristocratic regarded foxes as enchanting creatures. This is a tradition that persisted into the 15th century to counteract perceived harm posed by foxes. And a method known Six Circle Sutra, Rokuji Kyoho in Japanese, was employed. The Six Circle Sutra was a method of esoteric Buddhist practice utilizing a 6-character incantation sutra to perform esoteric rituals aimed at purifying both mind and body. It was believed that this method could effectively expel the spirit of the fox from the afflicted individual's mind and body. Now, during the Muromachi period in the 15th century, incidents related to fox possession became increasingly prevalent, and one notable case stands out. So this is our case study. Ashikaga Yoshimochi, the 4th shogun of the Muromachi shogunate, experienced a well-documented episode of fox possession in 1420. It was all began in late August when Yoshimochi developed symptoms of a severe cold. So that was August. But by September, his condition had deteriorated to the point where he was bedridden and unable to eat. Historical records reveal the court physicians had different opinions about Yoshimochi's illness and the treatment methods. One physician named Shibutsu diagnosed it as sickness caused by either demon, oni, we call it demon, a divine punishment, or a retribution for bad conduct in his previous life by the philosophy of karma. So Shibutsu refrained from prescribing any medicine. He didn't give any medicine. In contrast, another doctor, Takuma, diagnosed it as shiki, or some kind of disease, and prescribed medicine. Though the nature of this ailment called shiki remains unclear to us. As Yoshimochi's condition worsened, 33 of his attendants embarked on a pilgrimage to Ise Jingu Shrine to perform an esoteric Buddhist prayer practice for his recovery. Ise Jingu Shrine is quite far from Kyoto, where the shogun was inhabited. It's really a long journey. And they also visited 7 Yakushiji temples in Kyoto and performed another kind of Buddhist prayer practice known as Bodanho. There's many different types of practices. Meantime, rumors circulated that someone was using foxes to afflict Yoshimochi. In response, Yoshimochi's wife commissioned an ascetic to conduct a secret prayer practice. During the secret prayer practice ritual, 2 foxes were seemingly discovered fleeing from Shogun's palace. So soldiers captured and killed them. Now, September 10, Takama, the physician, was arrested. It was revealed that Takama, the physician, had indeed used the fox to possess Yoshimochi. So he was promptly arrested. And Sadamune, another physician, a master of Yin-Yang-Do sect, faced the same charges. Despite these developments, Yoshimochi's health still remained dangerous, and the esoteric practice persisted. They just kept going on. Now, in a surprising development of events, 8 more individuals were arrested, including Takama's disciples. Among them were doctors, Yin-Yang masters, and monks specializing in prayer. This fervor surrounding the case even led to the arrest of lower nobility, priests, monks, and the town doctors in Kyoto, who were rumored to have dealings with foxes. By September 23rd, Shogun Yoshimochi's health continued to fluctuate, and his appetite did not return. On this day, 2 more monks were apprehended for their involvement with the fox. On October the 10th, Takama and Sadamune were exiled to Shikoku Island. It's just far away from Kyoto, to the west side of Japan. And they were exiled for their roles in the fox possession of Yoshimochi. And Takama was killed during his journey to Shikoku Island. By mid-October, Shogun Yoshimochi's health finally began to improve. In celebration of his recovery, those who had lost their positions as his attendants due to Yoshimochi's anger before his illness, these people were pardoned and returned to the court. Previous studies have brought to light complicating facets of fox possession incident involving Shogun Yoshimochi. It's been suggested that underlying power struggles among the imperial physicians played a significant role in the events that happened. This rivalry ultimately culminated in the fox possession incident in the court. Notably, Hakama and Sadamune were exiled as a result of their involvement, while Shibutsu, who diagnosed Yoshimochi's illness as a disease and refrained from prescribed medicine, he was ascended to the position of an official physician for the shogun following the incident. Simultaneously, another set of facts reveals that a considerable number of individuals harbored criticisms against Yoshimochi's ruling politics. More than 10 individuals faced accusations of practicing esoteric crafts with the intent of involving fox possession upon Yoshimochi. Among these, accused were doctors, yin masters, and esoteric prayer monks. Their actions likely, so this is our analysis, stemmed from their dissatisfaction with Yoshimochi's governance. I have already noted that a significant number of Yoshimochi's attendants had been denoted that kept at a distance from him prior to his illness. However, after his recovery, they were allowed to return to their original positions. This suggests that Yoshimochi and his cabinet recognized that their previous judgments had been misguided and unjust, potentially driving someone to use fox possession esoteric methods against Yoshimochi. That's they presumed. Another unfortunate backdrop to the fox possession incident was the severe drought that afflicted Japan in 1420, the same year as the incident of Yoshimochi's fox possession. The land was devastated and crops failed to yield harvest. The following year, 1421, witnessed the infamous Oe famine. And this picture, it is a historical document. It's a record of the Keiko during this awful famine. It's really scary. And this famine just led to a sharp deterioration in the political climate. Clearly, frustration and criticism towards the country's leader, Yoshimochi, had reached a boiling point. From the 12th century onward, during the dawn of the Middle Ages, we observed the emergence and the proliferation of Buddhist practices aimed to casting spells to eliminate political opponents. These practices became increasingly popular within the realm of political power. The case of Yoshimochi in the 15th century underscores the widespread acceptance and tangible existence of the belief in magical schemes, extending not only to court nobility, but also to just common people. It was just all over. The illness of shogun and his family members was often interpreted as a sign of the presence of an adversary who sought to utilize fox possession as a means to harm the shogun's physical and mental well-being. Consequently, the fox came to symbolize political unrest and intrigue in medieval Japan. Next, let's delve into another notable fox possession case shortly involving Takako, the wife of the sixth shogun, Ashikaga Yoshinori. Confusing, isn't it? Yoshinori. In February 1433, an unusual and unsettling occurrence unfolded as Takako suddenly began to laugh uncontrollably without cessation. Shogun's wife. And this bizarre behavior was attributed to the influence of a wild fox. So the esoteric Buddhist prayer practices were intricated to address the situation. The prayer appeared to have an impact as it was believed to coax the wild fox out of Tadako's body, resulting in a slight improvement in her condition. Nevertheless, the prayer practices continued and the ceremonies grew in scale. In late February, a rumor surfaced suggesting that Tako's illness was attributed to fox possession. It was alleged to a monk at a small temple north of Kyoto held a grudge against the shogun and conspired with another monk from a different, more established temple called Chokuji to involve the fox possession of Tadako. In response to this rumor, the monk from Chokuji, from the big temple, was summoned and subjected to punishment. Interestingly, the initial intrigator was dismissed. The first monk was dismissed from these proceedings, likely due to the perceived importance and influence of the Chokuji monk, the monk from the big temple. He had more power. Once again, so this fox possession incident underscores the role of power politics within court nobility. By the way, the Takako was told that she was possessed by wild fox. And this is also a historical document, illustration of wild fox, and fox is doing something. It's interesting. And here's Shogun Yoshimochi. This event also intersects with the context of Shogun Yoshimochi, Takako's husband, Shogun. His turbulent resign. This shogun is ascended to his post through a lottery, it is said, and his rule became increasingly marked by a politics of fear. Eventually, he met a tragic end, falling victim to assassination. And it's noteworthy that year 1433, when his wife Takako fell ill, aligns with the onset of his authoritarian, fearful rule. That was the beginning year. Adding to the complexity of the situation, Yoshinori was notorious for his numerous relationships with women, having 10 side wives, concubines. This likely generated significant stress among the women in his life. He even took Tadako, his wife's sister, as a concubine. And this sister had exhibited signs of mental distress in 1432, a year before Tadeko's illness. Tadeko's sister was diagnosed with fox possession also. Yoshimochi's lawful marriage with Tadako was also unconventional. He dismissed his first lawful wife and banished her from the court to legally wed Tadako, as mentioned earlier. Tadako herself experienced fox possession after this marriage. Additionally, in the leap of a month of July 1433, precisely when Tadako suffered from fox possession, one of Yoshinori's side wives gave birth to a child. So reflecting upon this case, we can infer that fox possession and mental illness may be triggered by intense political and personal stress. Severe criticisms of shogun and the conflicted and unstable lives of the wives are pivotal factors in this narrative. So in conclusion, fox possession was a prevalent phenomenon during the Muromachi period in Japanese medieval time, particularly among the shoguns and their families. This phenomenon is an agonizing reflection of the political instability and precarious positions of political leaders and their households. And, well, to conclude our presentation, let me add a little bit of fun for you. The fox is still a special animal in Japanese culture, though we no longer believe in the fox possession. In popular culture, especially in animations and manga, the fox is the most popular animal as a shapeshifter, a seducer, and a magical creature with spiritual power. Thank you for listening.